Welcome to the Conspiracy Files with Paige Carter. I'm your host, Paige Carter. In the heart of London, under the shadow of St. Paul's Cathedral, stands an imposing stone building known as the Freemasons' Hall. It serves as the headquarters of the United Grand Lodge of England, the governing body of Freemasonry in England and Wales. Yet, to the world outside, the grand edifice holds countless secrets within its stone-carved walls. Freemasonry, as we know it today, traces its roots back to the stonemason guilds of medieval Europe. Over the centuries, it has evolved from a trade guild into a worldwide fraternal organization with millions of members. Freemasons are bound by their unique rituals, symbols, and a code of conduct that promotes moral and spiritual values. Yet, the society is shrouded in mystery. The secrecy surrounding their rituals, the coded language, and the clandestine meetings have led to numerous speculations. Some see them as a harmless fraternity, a social club with elaborate rituals. Others, however, view them as a shadowy cabal wielding influence over global events. For centuries, Freemasons have been linked to political intrigue, insurrections, and even the formation of nations. The American Revolution, for instance, had a significant number of Masonic participants, including George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. This has led many to question if the Freemasons are simply a secret society or an invisible hand guiding the world's affairs. This perceived influence extends far beyond the political sphere. The Freemasons have been accused of controlling everything from the global banking system to the entertainment industry. Conspiracy theories abound, suggesting a Masonic plot to establish a new world order. But do these theories hold any water? Is there more to the Freemasons than their charitable activities and fraternal bonds? Are they merely a benign secret society, or are they a shadow government orchestrating world events from behind the scenes? These questions are not easily answered. The Freemasons' code of secrecy makes it difficult to ascertain the full extent of their influence. Their members, bound by oaths of silence, are unlikely to divulge the inner workings of the society. Yet, the persistence of these theories suggests there may be more to the Freemasons than meets the eye. The shadow of the Freemasons looms large over history, their influence subtly woven into the fabric of society. But to unravel the truth behind the Freemasons, one must delve deep into the annals of history, sift through layers of secrecy, and parse truth from fiction. This journey is not for the faint-hearted. It takes us into the heart of a centuries-old society, its traditions steeped in symbolism and mysticism. It is a journey into a world where the lines between the mundane and the mystical are blurred, where the quest for knowledge is shrouded in secrecy, and where power and influence are wielded in the shadows. The roots of Freemasonry stretch back to the guilds of stonemasons during the Middle Ages. These craftsmen, responsible for constructing the cathedrals and castles of Europe, formed associations to protect their trade secrets, regulate their industry, and provide mutual aid. This system of guilds eventually evolved into a more philosophical organization, branching out from the craft of stonemasonry to a broader focus on moral and ethical teachings. The first Grand Lodge, a governing body for multiple lodges in a particular region, was established in England in 1717, marking the beginning of organized speculative Freemasonry as we know it today. This expansion from operative to speculative Freemasonry was a critical shift, moving from a focus on the literal craft of stonemasonry to a metaphoric one, where the tools and practices of the mason became symbols for moral and ethical teachings. These teachings were veiled in secrecy and symbolism, echoing the traditions of the original stonemasons and their need to protect trade secrets. This approach fostered an aura of mystery and exclusivity around the Freemasons, making the society a magnet for intellectuals, free thinkers, and influential figures. They were drawn not only by the promise of knowledge, but also by the allure of an exclusive circle, a brotherhood bound by shared oaths and rituals. As Freemasonry spread through Europe and into the Americas, it took on different cultural flavors, reflecting local traditions and customs. However, the core tenets of brotherly love, relief, and truth remained consistent. This universality, combined with its secrecy, made it an easy target for suspicion and conspiracy theories, particularly in times of political upheaval or social change. The French Revolution, for instance, was a period of intense scrutiny for the Freemasons. Revolutionary leaders, suspicious of any organization with secretive practices and international connections, targeted Masonic lodges. Some believed that the Freemasons were agents of the monarchy, while others thought they were part of a revolutionary underground. The truth, likely somewhere in between, was immaterial. The perception of the Freemasons as a secretive, influential group was firmly established, fueling speculation and conspiracy theories that persist to this day. Thus, the Freemasons' historical context, their beginnings in the secretive guilds of stonemasons, their evolution into a philosophical and ethical brotherhood, and their expansion across continents, sets the stage for the claims and suspicions that surround them. Their influence, real or perceived, their secrecy, and their role in key historical events have made them a focal point for those seeking to explain the unexplained, to uncover the hidden forces that shape our world. As we delve deeper into the enigma of Freemasonry, it becomes important to identify the key figures and organizations often associated with the society. One of the most notorious and influential figures in Freemasonry was Albert Pike, a 19th-century lawyer, writer, and soldier. Pike is perhaps best remembered for his work, Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which expounded on the philosophy and allegorical interpretations of the craft. Pike's writings, rich with esoteric symbolism, have fueled many conspiracy theories, particularly those that suggest Freemasonry is tied to occult practices or global power structures. Similarly, another name that often surfaces in discussions around Freemasonry is Adam Weishaupt, a German philosopher and founder of the Illuminati. While the Illuminati was a separate organization, its principles of Enlightenment thought and its goal of societal reform aligned with those of the Freemasons. This, coupled with Weishaupt's known connections with Freemasonry, has led to theories suggesting a link between the two societies. The fact that both groups were active during the same historical period and were shrouded in secrecy only fuels these speculations. On an organizational level, the Freemasons are divided into Grand Lodges, each overseeing the operation of individual lodges within their jurisdiction. These Grand Lodges, while independent, share mutual recognition and maintain the core principles of Freemasonry. The United Grand Lodge of England, established in 1717, is often regarded as the oldest Grand Lodge and is a focal point in many conspiracy theories due to its historic ties and influence. Another organization often linked to Freemasonry is the Knights Templar. This medieval Christian military order, known for its wealth, power, and mystery, has been associated with Freemasons through shared symbols and alleged secret practices. Despite the Templars' dissolution in the 14th century, some believe their secret traditions were carried on by the Freemasons. Even governmental bodies, particularly in the United States, have been implicated in Freemasonry conspiracy theories. The Founding Fathers, many of whom were known Freemasons, have been suggested to have embedded Masonic symbolism and principles into the foundation of the United States. This notion is often brought up in discussions about the Great Seal of the United States, which features an unfinished pyramid and an all-seeing eye, symbols associated with Freemasonry. The breadth of these associations illustrates the reach of Freemasonry, real or perceived. These figures and organizations, whether directly linked to Freemasonry or not, have played pivotal roles in shaping the narrative and mystery surrounding the society. Their influence, combined with the inherent secrecy of Freemasonry, continues to spark intrigue and fuel the enduring theories of a Masonic shadow government. One of the most significant events that brought the secrecy of Freemasonry into the public eye was the Morgan Affair of 1826. William Morgan, a disenchanted Freemason, threatened to publish an exposé revealing the inner workings of the society. However, before he could do so, Morgan mysteriously disappeared. His disappearance ignited a public outcry and fueled anti-Masonic sentiment, leading to the formation of the Anti-Masonic Party, the first third party in the United States. This incident and the subsequent political movement cast a harsh light on the society, raising public concern over the influence of Freemasons in governmental affairs. A similar event transpired in France in the late 19th century, when a series of documents known as the Palladian Rite was made public by a disgruntled Freemason, Leo Taxil. The documents purported to reveal a satanic inner circle within Freemasonry. Despite the later revelation that Taxil had fabricated the documents in an elaborate hoax, the incident created a popular association between Freemasonry and dark occult practices. In more recent times, the publication of the so-called P2 papers in Italy in the 1980s shed light on a shadowy Masonic lodge known as Propaganda Due, or P2. The lodge was implicated in numerous political scandals and criminal activities, from corruption to organized crime connections. While the Grand Orient of Italy expelled P2 in 1976, the exposure of the lodge's illicit activities led to renewed public suspicion of Freemasonry's influence in political and economic spheres. In the age of the Internet, numerous documents, allegations, and theories about the Freemasons have come to light, further fueling the perception of the society as a shadow government. One such claim is the supposed Masonic influence in the design and layout of Washington, D.C. Conspiracy theorists argue that the city's street plan and key landmarks, such as the Washington Monument and the Capitol Building, contain Masonic symbolism, suggesting a hidden Masonic control over the nation's capital. Each of these incidents, whether grounded in truth, fabrication, or speculation, has contributed to the public's perception of Freemasonry. They have amplified the aura of mystery surrounding the society, reinforcing the idea that the Freemasons might be more than just a fraternal organization. They could be a real, albeit hidden, hand guiding world events. The widespread belief in the Freemasons' influence and manipulation of world events is not solely born of speculation and conspiracy theories. It is also fueled by the alleged efforts of governments, corporations, and institutions to suppress information, silence witnesses, or manipulate the narrative regarding the society's activities. In the United States, the Freemasons have been linked to several high-profile political figures, including numerous presidents. When concerns are raised about potential Masonic influence in government, these connections are often downplayed or dismissed as mere coincidence. There is, however, a prevailing suspicion that the Freemasons' influence extends far beyond their membership, shaping policy and guiding national decisions in ways that are not publicly acknowledged. In the United Kingdom, the Freemasons' connection with law enforcement and the judiciary has been a source of public concern. In the 1990s, a parliamentary inquiry into police corruption revealed that many officers were Freemasons. This led to calls for mandatory disclosure of Masonic membership for police and judiciary, but these measures were never implemented. Critics argue that this lack of transparency allows Freemasons to exert influence within these bodies, potentially hindering impartiality and justice. Corporations, too, are not immune to accusations of Masonic involvement. The Freemasons' reputation for mutual support and networking has led to claims of nepotism and preferential treatment within the business world. But concrete proof is hard to find, often dismissed as mere speculation or the product of an overly active imagination. In terms of institutional censorship, perhaps the most notable case is the Vatican's stance on Freemasonry. The Catholic Church has long been at odds with the society, issuing several edicts and papal bulls condemning their practices and beliefs. The Church's official position is clear. Catholics who become Freemasons are in a state of grave sin and may not receive Holy Communion. Yet, the exact nature of the Church's objections remains shrouded in secrecy, with the Vatican refraining from a detailed public explanation. In the digital age, the Freemasons' influence is even alleged to extend to the control and manipulation of information online. The society is accused of suppressing negative portrayals or critical investigations into their activities, maintaining a stronghold on their public image. These narratives of suppression and control, whether proven or simply conjectured, contribute to the enigmatic image of the Freemasons. They feed into the idea of a powerful, shadowy organization capable of altering the course of history from behind the scenes. Whether this image reflects reality or merely fuels our fascination with the unknown, the Freemasons continue to captivate public interest, and their influence remains a topic of enduring debate. Despite the danger and potential repercussions, there have been those who dared to challenge the Freemasons' veil of secrecy. These brave individuals, often insiders or journalists, have attempted to expose the truth about the society's operations and influence. One notable example is Stephen Knight, a British journalist and author who wrote extensively on secret societies. His most famous work, The Brotherhood, The Secret World of the Freemasons, published in 1984, caused a significant stir. The book was based on interviews with ex-Masons and claimed to expose the extent of Masonic influence in British society, particularly within the police and judiciary. Knight faced considerable backlash for his work, including threats and accusations of sensationalism. Despite this, his book remains a seminal work on the subject. On the other side of the Atlantic, American author and Freemason insider William Morgan planned to publish an exposé on the secret society in the early 19th century. However, he mysteriously disappeared before the book could be published, sparking a public outcry and leading to the creation of an anti-Masonic political movement. Morgan's disappearance has never been conclusively explained, adding to the intrigue surrounding the society. In more recent times, investigative journalists and whistleblowers have tried to expose the Freemasons' influence in the digital age. They have alleged that the society manipulates online information to suppress criticism and control their public image. Yet, these claims often meet with vehement denials and are dismissed as conspiracy theories. These attempts to reveal the truth about the Freemasons come at a high personal cost. Those who dare to speak out often face intimidation and threats, tarnished reputations, and even mysterious disappearances. The risks involved only underscore the alleged power and reach of the society, reinforcing the notion that the Freemasons are more than just a fraternal organization. While the Freemasons insist that they are simply a society promoting moral and spiritual values, these stories of resistance and exposure paint a different picture. They suggest a complex, influential organization capable of exerting significant control to protect its secrets. This tension between public perception and reality continues to fuel the mystery surrounding the Freemasons, adding another layer to the enigma that has fascinated the world for centuries. Documented evidence supporting the theory of Freemasons as a shadow government is hard to come by, largely due to the secretive nature of the society. However, there are a few key pieces of evidence that critics point to as indicators of the group's potential power and influence. The first is a set of declassified FBI files which reveal that the Bureau kept a close eye on the Freemasons throughout the 20th century. The files include reports on individual Masons, transcripts of speeches, and even details of Masonic rituals. The fact that the FBI saw fit to monitor the group so closely suggests that they viewed them as potentially significant players on the political stage. Another intriguing piece of evidence is the testimony of former Freemason Leo Zagami. In his book, Confessions of an Illuminati, Zagami claims that the Freemasons and the Illuminati are intricately linked, and that both organizations work towards the same goal, a new world order. While Zagami's claims are highly controversial, they have fueled the debate on the reach and intent of the Freemasons. Also worth noting is the prevalence of Masonic symbolism in American architecture and currency. The Great Seal of the United States, for instance, features a pyramid with an eye at the top, a well-known Masonic symbol. Critics argue that these symbols are evidence of the Freemasons' influence on the founding of the United States and their continued influence in the country. In the realm of data analysis, the sheer number of Freemasons who have held positions of power is often invoked as evidence of their influence. Notable Freemasons include Winston Churchill, Mark Twain, and numerous U.S. presidents. Critics argue that such a concentration of power within a single secret society cannot be coincidental. Lastly, the persistent rumors of the Freemasons' involvement in major global events, from the French Revolution to the assassination of JFK, continue to fuel the debate. While these claims are often dismissed as conspiracy theories, they persist nonetheless, suggesting that the true nature and extent of the Freemasons' influence remains a topic of intense scrutiny and speculation. While none of these pieces of evidence conclusively prove the theory of the Freemasons as a shadow government, they do highlight the society's potential for significant influence and control. As with any secret society, the truth is likely more complex and nuanced than any single theory can capture. Nevertheless, these revelations and documents underscore the need for continued investigation into the enigmatic society known as the Freemasons. The public reaction to the Freemasons' alleged political influence has been, predictably, mixed. The society's mysterious nature and the secrecy surrounding their rituals have long fueled public intrigue and skepticism. When theories of a shadow government are introduced into the mix, reactions range from dismissive skepticism to fervent belief. The media, ever in search of a compelling narrative, often leans into the mystique. In print, online, and on-screen, the Freemasons are frequently portrayed as a shadowy cabal pulling the strings behind global events. The society's secretive rituals, arcane symbols, and high-profile members provide ample fodder for sensationalist headlines and thrilling plotlines. This portrayal, while captivating, has done little to foster public trust. On the contrary, it has only deepened the sense of unease and suspicion that many feel towards the Freemasons. After all, if the society's influence is as extensive and covert as some claim, what does that mean for our democracies, our freedoms, our understanding of our history? The Freemasons themselves have often responded to these allegations with denial and dismissal. They maintain that their society is nothing more than a fraternal organization dedicated to moral improvement and mutual support. Such denials, however, are often met with skepticism given the society's history of secrecy and the persistent rumors of its influence. Controversies inevitably arise whenever the Freemasons are linked to events of political significance. The society's supposed involvement in the French Revolution, for instance, continues to be a topic of heated debate. Similarly, the claim that numerous U.S. presidents were Freemasons has been met with both incredulous dismissal and fervent belief. In the end, the very nature of the Freemasons, their secrecy, their rituals, their symbols, ensures that they remain a subject of intense fascination and speculation. The shadowy portrayal of the society in the media, combined with the persistent rumors of its influence, continues to erode public trust, while the society's own denials do little to quell the controversy. As such, the Freemasons remain at the center of a storm of speculation, their true nature and influence as enigmatic as ever. The legacy and influence of the Freemasons, whether clandestine or benign, continues to pervade contemporary culture, politics, and technology. There is scarcely an aspect of modern life that has not been touched, in some way, by the society's alleged machinations. A shining example of this is the architecture of Washington, D.C., a city said to be laden with Masonic symbolism. The Capitol building, for instance, is believed to be designed according to Masonic principles, with its dome representing the heavens and its rectangular base signifying the material world. The city's layout, with its precise angles and geometric perfection, is thought to reflect Masonic ideals of order and harmony. The influence of the Freemasons is not confined to physical structures. In the realm of politics, the society is alleged to wield considerable clout. The claim that many U.S. presidents were Freemasons, if true, implies an enduring Masonic influence at the highest level of government. This belief has even fueled speculation about a purported Masonic agenda shaping global events. Technology, too, is not immune to the reach of the Freemasons. The society is said to be at the forefront of technological progress, using its influence to guide the development of new technologies in line with its supposed goals. There have been claims, for instance, that the society has secretly sponsored research into artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and alternative energy sources. The lessons of the Freemasons' supposed influence are manifold. One is the enduring power of secrecy. The society's clandestine nature, whether real or imagined, continues to stoke public fascination and suspicion. Another is the potency of symbolism. The society's arcane symbols, found everywhere from architecture to currency, serve as a constant reminder of its alleged influence. Perhaps the most important lesson, however, is the malleability of perception. The Freemasons are seen by some as an enlightening force, guiding humanity towards a better future, while others view them as a shadowy cabal manipulating world events for their own ends. This dichotomy reflects the subjective nature of truth and the extent to which perception shapes reality. As we delve deeper into the enigma that is the Freemasons, we find ourselves confronted with a complex tapestry of history, mystery, and influence. The society's legacy, like its origins, is shrouded in speculation and secrecy, and while the true extent of its influence may never be known, the Freemasons' enduring impact on our world is undeniable. As we reflect on the myriad theories, the vast web of historical intrigue, and the countless unanswered questions that surround the Freemasons, it's impossible to ignore the tantalizing allure of the unknown. The very essence of Freemasonry is couched in secrecy, in concealed knowledge, and this clandestine nature is what continues to fuel our curiosity, our speculation, and our uncertainty. There are countless questions that continue to elude us. The true extent of the society's influence on global affairs, for instance, remains a matter of conjecture. Is it the guiding hand subtly steering the course of history, or is its influence greatly exaggerated by the fertile imaginations of conspiracy theorists? Another lingering question concerns the society's alleged technological endeavors. If the Freemasons are indeed at the vanguard of cutting-edge research in fields such as artificial intelligence and quantum computing, what might that imply about the future direction of our technologically driven society? And perhaps most intriguingly, what are we to make of the society's enigmatic symbols, its arcane rituals, its esoteric teachings? Are these merely vestiges of a bygone era? Or do they hold deeper meanings, concealed truths waiting to be unraveled by the initiated? The Freemasons, in their secrecy and mystery, serve as a mirror to our own uncertainties, our own quest for knowledge. They embody the human fascination with the hidden, the forbidden, the unknown. They remind us of the power of perception, of the capacity of the human mind to construct narratives, to seek patterns, to make sense of the world. In the end, the Freemasons, whether viewed as a secret society or a shadow government, remain an enigma. Their story is a testament to the enduring allure of secrecy, the captivating power of mystery, and the irresistible pull of the unknown. And perhaps, in this age of information overload, there is a certain comfort to be found in not knowing, in acknowledging the limits of our understanding, in embracing the tantalizing mystery that is the Freemasons. As we draw this exploration to a close, we are left with more questions than answers, and perhaps that is as it should be. For it is in the asking, in the seeking, in the doubting, that we truly engage with the mystery. And in the end, perhaps the greatest truth to be gleaned from the story of the Freemasons is this, that the pursuit of knowledge, however elusive, is a journey worth undertaking. Thanks for listening. This has been The Conspiracy Files with Paige Carter. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.